And welcome into Pressbox Live. I'm Stan the Fan Charles of Pressbox at PressboxOnline.com. And with me in about 40 seconds is going to be the president and CEO of the Maryland Five-Star event that's coming up October 13th through 16th at Fair Hill. That is Jeff Newman. But first, let me just tell you a little bit in between now and October 13th. If you have a hankering for crabs, everybody in Baltimore knows the preeminent place to go for crabs is the Costas Inn. Crabs, crab cakes, crab soup. Then they've got specials every night of the week, salads, anything you might want. The Costas Inn has it for you. But they've stepped up their curbside game because a lot of people still aren't comfortable going into a dining situation indoors. Go to CostasInn.com. You can order your food online, pay for your food online, and then when you pick it up at 4100 North Point Boulevard, you don't even have to get out of your car. They'll bring it to you, and everything is packed immaculately. They know what they're doing at the Costas Inn. Okay? CostasInn.com. And speaking of knowing what they're doing, Jeff Newman is with us, and he's the president and CEO of the Maryland Five-Star event coming up. And Jeff, I counted the days on the calendar, and I count 28 days away. Might be 27 because I'm not that good at the math. But I want you to go back to last year, the same time, about 25 days out. Were you running around like a one-armed paper hanger, or were you calm, cool, and collected? And how different is it this year from a year ago?
Well, being in the event business for nearly 30 years, you'd think that it gets routine, but it doesn't. Every event year is different, and every year has new challenges and also new opportunities. So I think just from being around the business so long, we try to keep a pretty calm composure. So I've had everything thrown at me for a long period of time. So it's nothing new to me, and it's actually really enjoyable to really continue to help launch an event into something that, again, we hope is going to be one of the big events that Maryland has for many years to come.
What gives you confidence now that you've run one and it was successful, that it can grow into what the projections have been, that it can become almost like a longer version of the Preakness, was one-day event? But what gives you the confidence that you guys can create that out there?
Well, first of all, the sport of eventing is so unique. If you've never seen it live, there's nothing like it. It is, as we've talked about before, it's the Ironman competition for horses. And to see what they can do is absolutely amazing. So the fact that we have, three different components with dressage and cross country and show jumping, each day is different. And if you've never seen it, like I said, live, and you see these horses and what they can do, I mean, these are the Michael Jordan of horses. I mean, they're absolutely incredible what they can do. So we feel really confident now that we have some awareness, versus last year, that, there's going to be a buzz, and there's going to be people that will say, like, if you've never seen this, you got to check it out. And as we've always talked about, there's only 7 of these in the world and only 2 in the US. So you're coming to something that, isn't in too many places. And I think, like I said, once people sort of get a glimpse of it, they're going to keep coming back.
Over time, obviously, you're going to get new people that come to test it out and say, hey, I haven't done that before. But how many people, like last year, you drew 22,000 people in year one, which was a good number. How many of those are just people that will go anywhere for eventing? And how many were people that were, that maybe advertising or marketing brought in?
Yeah, last year was basically the purists. I would say that it's mostly horse owners, people that are passionate about the sport. And that was critical for us because we wanted to make sure we create that base. In the tennis business, I used to always say, anybody in the area that has a racket, we need to get out at the event. So anybody that has association with a horse, that was kind of the first step, especially in the COVID year. But now moving forward, like, the event is supposed to be a social event. It's a great family event outdoors in October. There's so much to do, from shopping with our retail vendors, the opportunity to do activities. Cross country is just one giant party. It's tailgating. So we think it's going to catch on, very similar how like the Virginia Gold Cup, for example, caught
Yeah.
on with just being a really great social event. So we feel we have something very similar across multiple days. And I think once that sort of picks up that, this is a fun event to go for you with your friends and family, I think we're going to get more and more people through our marketing efforts than just the purists.
So it's called a 4-day event. It starts on Thursday, October 13th from 1 to 5, both on Thursday and Friday, the 13th and 14th. They have what's known as dressage. Can you explain that to our viewers out there that might not know what the hell that is?
Well, first off, we actually start in the morning around 8 a.m. because we have 3 levels of competition at the event. The 5-star is the pinnacle.
Okay.
It takes place in the afternoon, but we also have a 3-star competition, which is a lower level, but yet amazing athletes and horses as well.
That's going on concurrently. Okay.
Yeah, so we have the 3-star in the morning that would go from 8 to about 12:30, and then the 5-star in the afternoon that will go from 1 to 4. So it's a full day. That's really what I wanted to get across. But what is dressage? The sport actually originated as a cavalry test, to get horses and riders ready for battle, for military. And so it would always be about how the horse and the rider can become one. And that's why they call the sport the ultimate test of horse and rider. So dressage again, back in the day, was an opportunity to certain movements that the rider and the horse can be together at one. And so dressage is basically figure skating for horses. It's doing certain routines, certain, very similar acts of competition where they're judged. And if you make a mistake, you get a penalty. So that's the first portion is dressage. And if you're a fan of gymnastics or you're a fan of, again, figure skating, picture that with horses, and that's essentially what it is. So it's very graceful, and it's really something unique to watch. So that's what Thursday and Friday entails, and that's the sort of the first leg of the Ironman competition, so to speak.
Now, I came out last year. I came out for the second day of dressage, and then the day I was really looking forward to was the cross country. And I wasn't disappointed. It was just an incredible, the panoramic of it. Talk a little bit about that. Now, I know that this course, which was designed by Ian, I had it written down here on one of my sheets of paper. Ian Stark, right.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a tough test, and it proved to be tougher than I think the riders really wanted. Have changes been made to the course?
Yeah, first off, cross country is what defines eventing. No other equestrian sport has it.
Yeah.
And I equate it to golf. It's a 4-mile course, basically that has 43 complexes and obstacles. Some entail water complexes, some entail huge jumps, huge drops. So, think about like a triathlon when an athlete has to do the high jump, or they have to do the hurdles. It's kind of like all that in one for horses. So it's really, really exciting and really special to see. And like golf, you can sit at one particular obstacle all day, or you can go from obstacle to obstacle and follow the course. So it's really fun outdoors. You can bring your dog, you bring your family, and obviously we'll have, a lot of food and beverage opportunities out there with concessions, and, our sponsors, Diageo and Breakthrough and all their brands, is really fun. So, but as far as cross country goes, what's new this year is that with the changes we made is that the terrain is really pretty significant at our event. Most other 5-stars, it's pretty flat, but ours is very hilly in terrain. So the course designer this year wanted to make sure that the horses at the last leg go downhill as opposed to uphill.
Okay.
But the advantage to that is that we're now having the horses go through the main arena. So if you have a ticket for Saturday in the arena, you're going to get a chance to see the horses go in and out of the arena all day long. So pretty new and significant change. That's going to be an upgrade for the spectator experience.
Now, I was not an experienced eventing person, but I brought my binoculars with me. Do you recommend that for somebody if they really want to see the cross country, and they can't move around at the pace of the horse, that you can stay with it a little bit longer?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that what we needed to improve upon last year was, I think, more shuttle opportunities to get people to and from around the course. So we are increasing the amount of shuttles. And we are also creating a shuttle system around the perimeter of the property and having drop points where you can get on a bus and then go from different parts of the course. However, there are places where if you are in a particular field, it is good to have a set of binoculars because there are obstacles all over a large, piece of land. So if you want to stay in one particular area, I would recommend it.
All right. Now, so after that fantastic day on Saturday, the cross country goes from approximately 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Sunday is the second horse inspection from 8:30 to 9:30, and then show jumping from 1 to 4. Talk a little bit about what fans can see and people that come out can see on Sunday.
Yeah, I just want to again reiterate that the event does start in the morning. The 5-star starts at 1 o'clock, but the 3-star competition is in the morning, so you could come out all day.
Okay.
So, but show jumping is really it's spectacular because it's the last day. It's those who have made it past the first 2 phases. And last year the winner, Boyd Martin, he only won by 0.1. I mean, it was
wow.
So when they go around the show jumping, it's about 14 show jumps that everybody's quiet. They want to make sure that the horse and the rider are getting through the course because it's like golf. You don't want to make any noise while somebody's in their backswing. So very similar. The horses go around a course of 14 obstacles and you hope they make it through clean and then everybody cheers. So it's very, very exciting and it's very thrilling because every pole that's knocked down is a penalty point that could literally mean the difference between winning and losing.
I want to mention at the outset here that Boyd Martin was on with us last year. So unlike the Sports Illustrated jinx, the rider that comes on press box this year's got a really good shot at winning that race. We're talking with Jeff Newman, the president and CEO of the Maryland 5-star event. It's coming to Cecil County at Fair Hill, October 13th through Sunday the 16th. You mentioned concessions. That was my one thing, my one call to Terry. I said, I don't want to bother you, but I just want to tell you that I noticed there were some backups at the concessions last year on the days I was there because I was buying food like a fan. Now this year, I understand you've got some food trucks and an expansion of concessions and retail also.
Yes. So Thursday, Friday, and Sunday are around our arena. It's a smaller footprint, so we'll have plenty of food and beverage opportunities up there, and lots of food trucks, like you said. And we're also going to have a lot of mobile bars. We'll have video boards where people can eat and watch the competition. We also have the Wellwood restaurant that's going to be serving some great food and seafood opportunities. So, those days you'll have plenty of options. On cross country, no doubt we fell short. I think it was a bit of the unpredictability of COVID again and how many spectators. Yep. But this year there's essentially 3 fields of cross country and we will have a concession area in each field. And what we're really happy about too is that, our partner, the Wellwood, is going to create a crab shack restaurant up at our crab water obstacle. So you're going to be able to see horses going over crabs while you're eating crabs.
I like that.
Yeah.
Last year, and again, I'm kind of new to this myself. I've read up on it. I came out a couple times last year. What about weather? If suppose you got a torrential downpour, are they going to do the cross country in a downpour, or would it be deferred till the weather cooperates better?
Well, the one thing about eventing is you need to be ready for weather because it's rain and shine. It will only stop if it's lightning and thunder.
Okay.
If it's severe, storms. But if it's just raining, we're going on, and that's why, like for tailgaters, they're obviously underneath the tent. We have restaurants that are underneath the tent. But we definitely tell people, be prepared in fall weather that, you could be outside with some elements. But that's what makes the sport. It really does. And I think people understand that, that's part of it. So if you've never been to the sport and you're not an outdoorsman, again, I think you're going to be at least surprised of, how still fun it could be, even though there may be some weather.
And And if there is weather, the on one of the days of the dressage or the jumping, those are not under total cover like the US Open was, but you have some areas that are you could get to cover, correct?
Yeah, every seat around the arena that we build, so one of the actually advantages of not having a permanent stadium is we actually build all the seating with our partner and sponsor Select Event Group. They do a great job, but every seat is covered. So if there is weather for dressage and show jumping, you will be underneath cover. There is one outdoor, there's a permanent grandstand at Fair Hill. That's one that's not covered, but all the seating that we build around the arena will be covered.
All right. The best way, if somebody's interested in getting tickets, it looked like the best website to check out is Maryland, the number 5 star.us. Is that the best way to get tickets?
That's correct, yes.
All right. I'm curious, you mentioned something about working with Breakthrough Beverage and something local sponsors. Have they warmed up to this event yet? You know, where you've got some people that are participating and say, hey, that's neat. I really want to be a part of this.
Yeah, again, it's a great social event. It's a great opportunity to spend time with your friends and family. It's a party too. There's tailgating and all similar things that you would see at, you know, other equestrian events, but also just, you know, other non-equestrian events like, again, like football and others that have tailgating. So it's a great social event. So yeah, with Diageo, they're all their brands, Johnny Walker, Tanqueray, Guinness, you know, et cetera. They're all part of the event, and they're going to have sampling opportunities as well as some really fun activations out there. So I think people have really caught on to the fact that, you know, this event can be a great social experience with your friends and family. So, you know, Mars is our new title sponsor this year. Mars, the confectionery company, has stepped up and become our title sponsor. And we also have a presenting sponsor in Brown Advisory. So that's an example of, to your point, of sort of buying and investing in the event. Is they were a sponsor of the event, but they felt that it was a great future for this event, that they both stepped up to the title and the presenter. So we think year over year, we're going to get more sort of, you know, new blood, if you will, in terms of sponsorship into the event, because it really is a fun event.
Talk a little bit about I was amazed last year at the retail opportunities out there. And I understand there's going to be even an increase in the retail opportunities.
Yes, right now we probably have about 85 vendors out there that are going to be selling everything from clothes to, you know, tack for horses to leather goods. I mean, it's just a variety of things for people to go shopping. And, you know, in this particular time of year, you can actually get some of your Christmas shopping done early. So, you know, some of our sponsors like Dewberry of Ireland, they have a great selection, Hound and Hare, of really some great fall weather. You know, there'll be jewelry out there and things like that. So it's a great, if you're not interested in seeing equestrian sport and you just want to go out for a good shopping experience, we'll have that for all 4 days.
Now, the expansion of those retail opportunities, does that mean that some vendors last year who sat on the sidelines, both because of COVID and just that this was a new venue, they sort of said, let me see how it does. They got the buzz and they want to be part of this?
Yes, I think any retailer, you know, that sees a crowd that, you know, we achieved and hopefully will continue to grow, you know, has an opportunity to sell, you know, pretty well. And people go out there with the intention of knowing there's a good retail experience. It's what makes these 5 stars and frankly, any level of eventing unique, that each of them do provide a good shopping experience to go along with great equestrian sport.
Wanted to ask you about somebody that I've worked with in these 2 years now. It's Marty Bauman, the PR person extraordinaire. Can you talk a little bit about how fortunate you were to have somebody like that knows this industry inside and out to help with the PR of this event?
Yeah, Marty's a great person, does a great job for us. He knows everything about the sport, obviously. And for me, as someone that hadn't been in the equestrian space, it was obviously a breath of fresh air to have someone that I could count on to always, you know, help me learn the sport, help me learn the athletes, and obviously help learn the horses themselves. And I kind of related when I was doing tennis, you know, for 22 years, running the then the Legg Mason Tennis Classic, now City Open, where I had a guy named Charlie Brotman that was just
Yep.
the event, since it started, and always had Charlie as a great resource in helping me learn. And Marty's very similar in that capacity. Been around the sport for years and years and years, and just it's a comfort level. It's sort of like a warm blanket around you, basically giving you the information you need.
I wanted to give him a little bit of a plug. I think he does a terrific job for you.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
And I want to compliment you because I know what it's like. You're not as old as I am, nearly, but it's not easy learning a new language, like from going from tennis to eventing. It's an entirely different skill set, knowledge set. You've done a really good job at getting up to speed with this stuff, Jeff.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I always kind of say that it's kind of an advantage not being part of the sport, because you kind of look at it with sort of open eyes and, new eyes, I guess I should say. And, it helps with, I sort of bring the commercial component, the promotional component to the event. And I always feel like you can learn the sport. It's hard to learn the commercial side and the experiential side, but you can always learn the sport if you're around the right people.
Talk a little bit, just a couple minutes, about your team that you've put together out there, because we're going to be meeting a couple people in the weeks, the 28 days we have between now and the event. You put together a nice team that you're comfortable with, and those people all have tremendous experience in this eventing world.
Yeah, first off, we partner with a company called Fair Hill International that's been running eventing and horse trials at Fair Hill for 30 years. So they're a great organization that we've partnered with, led by Mary Cauldron and Tris Gilbert. So they have a great expertise on the competition side. And then we've got a mixture of our staff at the Sport and Entertainment Corporation of Maryland, who I work for, with Terry Hasseltine, in that we have a mixture of those that have grown up in the horse industry and those that have been producers. So we have a good mixture of folks. Our event director, Marissa Belzer, she's a great combo. She's got great event experience as well as horse experience. So she's been invaluable. And, we have a new ticket coordinator that's obviously been in the horse industry for years to help talk to people about what they're buying into. So yeah, I think we have a team of about 5 or 6 of us actually, and then we partner with Fair International to really help produce the event, which is a pretty heavy lift, but small and mighty, I should say.
Before I let you go, this event, it's a big endeavor to put on. What kind of purse does the winner, like Boyd Martin last year, what kind of dough are we talking about? Is there a big purse if you win one of these 5-star events?
Yeah, generally the 5-stars run from about 150,000 at a minimum up to about 500,000 in prize money. Our prize money is 325,000, and the first winner of the 5-star, Boyd Martin, won $100,000 last year. So it's pretty significant for the sport. And obviously, as the event grows, we're hoping to grow prize money and year over year.
All right. Really appreciate your coming on again and giving us your expertise now in putting on the event. I wish you great luck with it again. Again, the website to look for tickets, Maryland #5 star.us, and you got to spell out Maryland. So Maryland, the #5 star.us. I did have one last question. You and I went over this off the air today. There's 7 of these events in the world. Is there any, ours last year was in late September or October. Is there any real schedule when each one will have the event? There's one in Kentucky, there's one in Australia, there's one in Germany, there's one in France, there's one here, and 2 in the UK. Or are they like clockwork? Are they set to have their individual race?
Yeah, they're all positioned based on weather, because you want to make sure that it's not too hot. The footing on the ground needs to be in cooler weather. And obviously the fact that it's an equestrian triathlon, so to speak, you want to have the horses to be able to make sure that it's cool weather. So it's really, that's why they're positioned the way they are. So Australia is early in the year. Then it's followed by Kentucky, which is in late April. And then the one of the events that's in the UK, badminton's in May. The event in Germany is in June. And then you have the event in called Burley, which is in September. Then it's our event. And then it's the event in France that follows us.
All right. I appreciate you laying that out for us.
Yeah.
Again, the dates of this are October 13th, Thursday, October the 13th through Sunday, the 16th. Check it out. I did last year and I was really enjoyed it. For Jeff Newman of the president and CEO of Maryland Five Star, appreciate it. We'll be talking to you down the road.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hope to see you in October in Cecil County.
You will, buddy. Talk to you
Okay.
soon. All
Take
right.
care.
That's it for us. Brought to you by the Costas Inn. I'll see you Monday night talking baseball with Ross Grimsley and a guest to be determined. Thanks.
Thank you.